If you're in your 50s to 60s thinking about retirement, grab a pen and download the scorecard below. Because in this video, we're going to score your retirement across mindset, money, and strategy. And by the end of this video, you'll know your color, green, yellow, or red, and exactly what to fix next. I'm Tom, a CFP and owner of GT Wealth, and I help people just like you retire with confidence. And I found the biggest risk isn't always running out of money, it's stepping into retirement without a clear plan or the confidence to follow it. So today we'll score 3 areas together: mindset and lifestyle, financial readiness, and strategic planning. Add your points as we go, and your total at the end will be your readiness score. So download the free retirement readiness scorecard at the link below so you can score live with me right now. So let's start with section 1, mindset and lifestyle. Define what a great retirement looks like. All right, number 1, I have a clear vision of what I want retirement to look like. Now, be honest with yourself here. Can you picture a normal Tuesday in retirement? Not a vacation, a regular Tuesday. What time do you wake up? What's the first thing you do? Who are you spending your time with? And here's why this matters. Money without a mission turns into boredom within 30 days. The identity shift going from executive to retired or business owner to retiree hurts if you don't define the next game. So here's a 30-second quick exercise. Grab your phone and set a timer for 30 seconds. Describe your ideal Tuesday out loud or jot it down. Include the morning, midday, and evening. Include 3 specifics that would make you excited to jump out of bed in the morning, and add in 1 give back activity. Then score yourself. 0 is no clear day and I'm just not working anymore. 1 is you have some ideas, but it's not ready for the calendar, meaning there's no times, people, or places in mind yet. And 2 means you have a crystal clear vision with times, people, and places, and your spouse is aligned. Check your score and we'll keep a running tally as we move along here. Number 2, my spouse or partner and I are on the same page about when we want to retire and what it should look like. So are you both aligned on location, lifestyle, and a daily rhythm? Are you picking up and going to the Florida beach, or is it Tuesdays with the grandkids? Alignment here is really important because misaligned expectations, not the stock market, delay retirements and can lead to resentment. So here's a 30-second quick exercise. Text your partner or have a conversation and describe retirement in 3 words. Then each of you write 3 must-haves. Number 1 is where you live. Number 2 is a weekday routine. And 3 is who you're near. And compare your lists and circle the overlaps to see where you're aligned and where you're not. And if you're not aligned in some areas, that's actually a good thing because now you can discuss it and plan for it well ahead of time before finding out in retirement. So for this one, a 0 is never discussed or you disagree on core items like lifestyle or location. A number 1 means there's partial overlap, but key trade-offs are not resolved yet. And a 2 means you have a shared plan that's documented, location is agreed on, the weekday rhythm is aligned, and our top 3 priorities are matched or at least similar. Now that we're aligned, let's prevent us from being busy to becoming bored by planning the first 90 days. Which brings us to number 3, and the question I want to ask here is, what will give you purpose when the job title is gone? Or said another way, what problem will you solve next? This matters because purpose is oxygen. Without it, retirement becomes an endless Sunday. So here's the exercise for this one. Pick your month and have 1 trio, meaning set out to learn 1 new skill, 1 project to build, and 1 community to join or serve. Then write 1 action for each. A 0 for this question means you have not defined your purpose yet, or maybe you have golf and travel as the plan, which honestly, in my opinion, is still a 0. Because golf and travel often don't provide a sense of purpose that lasts 30 plus years. A 1 means ideas exist, but nothing is scheduled or specific. And a 2 means a skill, project, or community has been selected with concrete first actions on the calendar. Now, let's anchor the lifestyle to figure out where's home base in number 4. So where will you live? And be specific here. Will it be in the same house? Will you downsize, move to a new zip code, or will you move to one of the 9 zero income tax states? And location is a financial lever affecting state taxes, property taxes, healthcare networks, and cost of living. So it's actually a really big deal. Here's the exercise for this one. Open Zillow, find one listing in your target zip code, note the price, estimate the property taxes, the HOA fees, and insurance, and then gut check yourself to seriously consider if it's realistic. A 0 for this question would mean you know you want to live somewhere warm, but you have no numbers yet. A 1 means you've chosen a region, but there's no zip or cost example to work with. And a 2 means you have a zip code picked, sample listing has been saved, and rough housing plus tax math has been done. Great. Moving on to the last piece of lifestyle is considering how family will play a role in your retirement. How will kids, grandkids, and aging parents fit into your time and money? And I found this type of planning is often overlooked because I get it, they're not fun conversations to have, but family support reshapes both your calendar and your cash flow, and surprises in this area can derail your entire plan. So block a monthly family budget, which can include hours you'll commit for childcare, visits, or caregiving, and dollars you'll commit for gifts, support, and travel. And don't forget to have your legal documents up to date with these, which will include at a minimum a will, power of attorney, and healthcare proxy. A 0 here would mean no expectations have been discussed and how everything could affect your time and money. A 1 means you've talked loosely about it, but there's no schedule or numbers yet. And 2 means hours and dollars have been budgeted, key documents have been started, and roles have been agreed with in the family. Add up your numbers for each of the 5 statements and put your total right here. So you've defined the life. Now we price it and fund it, moving into the next section, financial readiness. I know exactly how much income I'll need for my lifestyle. So what's your true annual spend to live your ideal lifestyle before taxes? And this is important to get an idea because if you guess low, you'll need to make lifestyle cuts. And if you guess high, you'll never retire. So open your notes and I want you to list 5 buckets: housing, healthcare, living, fun/travel, and family/giving. Write a quick monthly number for each from your last bank statements, or if you're using a budgeting app, that's even better. Add a 15% buffer on top of your number. Multiply by 12, and that's your target gross spend to at least get something to work with. A 0 here means you have no number or you're using a pure guess. A 1 is you have a monthly estimate, but it's not annualized and has no buffer. And a 2 means you have an annual number with category details plus a 15% buffer written down. Moving on to number 2, I understand how much I can safely withdraw from my portfolio without running out of money. So what's your sustainable withdrawal range without killing principal? This is the line between enjoying money versus running out. So write down your total investable assets. That's all of your 401ks, traditional and Roth IRAs, and brokerage accounts. Multiply the total by 4% for a rough annual starting point. Then compare it to your total spend from question 1 and take note of the gap. A 0 here would mean you haven't totaled your assets or done a withdrawal calculation. A 1 means you have a 4% ballpark figure, but no gap analysis was done. And a 2 is you have a 4% versus target spend calculated, and you've identified the gap. Next, we move on to Social Security timing to shrink the gap. So when should you take Social Security? What's your benefit at 62, full retirement age, and 70, and which timing best fits your plan? Timing is everything here because it can swing 6 figures over your lifetime. The bottom line is coordination matters. If you haven't already done this, log on to socialsecurity.gov, pull up your most recent statement, and write down your estimates for 62, FRA, and 70. If you have a gap from question 2, pick the timing that reduces it without spiking taxes and mark your tentative start date. A 0 means you don't know your estimates. A 1 means you know your numbers, but there's no chosen start date or coordination. And a 2 means you know your numbers and a tentative start date was chosen based on your gap. Now we need to protect against any big unexpected expenses. Number 4, I have a strategy for how I'll cover major expenses. So, do you have a plan for when something unexpected comes up? How will you cover healthcare, pre-Medicare, long-term care, and unexpected bills? These can derail your retirement plan fast and force you to sell assets at bad times or trigger taxes. So, write this down. Emergency cash equals 6 to 12 months spend. If retiring before 65, note your ACA or COBRA plan and annual premium, and add a placeholder for long-term care, whether that be a policy or earmarked assets. A 0 in this section means there's no cash buffer, there's no long-term care or a long-term care plan. A 1 means you have some cash, a vague healthcare plan, and no long-term care placeholder. And a 2 means you have 6 to 12 months of cash, a concrete pre-65 plan, and a long-term care plan noted somewhere. And last, are you confident in your retirement portfolio for income and to support yourself in retirement? Or is your portfolio built to fund your withdrawals with minimal panic? Because retirement investing does not equal growth investing. Sequence risk and taxes matter because now we're taking distributions from our assets. So here's what to do for this one. Sketch a simple 3-bucket map. 1 is for cash, 12 to 24 months withdrawals. 2 for income, consisting of bonds and dividends for the next 3 to 7 years. And 3 for growth with a goal to beat inflation over the long term. For each of these, write your current versus target split. A 0 here means you really don't have structure yet and you're all in on just maximizing returns. A 1 means you have some allocation but no cash runway or income bucket. A 2 means your buckets are defined with a cash runway and a target mix has been written down. Okay, so you priced the life you want to live and mapped out the money. Now we need to orchestrate it so you keep more, pay less, and don't run out. Which brings us to the third piece, strategic planning. Starting with, do you have a 10 to 30 year tax plan? What's your decade-long tax map for Roth conversions, bracket targets, RMDs, IRMMA, Social Security taxation, etc.? All of these are important because taxes are one of the biggest retirement expenses. Poor timing on how these are handled can lead to higher lifetime taxes and higher premiums. So write down, or you can put these in an Excel spreadsheet, the balances of your assets by type. So that's pre-tax, Roth, and taxable. And then write down these specific age milestones: 59 and a half, 62, 65, 70, and RMD age. 59 and a half is when you can take money out of your pre-tax accounts without penalty, but FYI, it would still be counted as income and taxed, so be careful there. Age 62 is the earliest you can claim Social Security. 65 is when Medicare kicks in. 70 is the furthest age to delay Social Security to take advantage of the 8% per year bump in income. And the RMD age will be different for some people depending on the year you were born, but for the most part, RMDs will begin around 73 or 75. A 0 for this one means you don't have a multi-year tax view. A 1 means you are aware of the milestones, but there's no conversion or RMD plan. And a 2, you understand which tax bracket you're in, the milestones, and a conversion/RMD outline has been documented. Great. Now we'll need to decide the order you'll pull your income. Number 2, I have a withdrawal strategy and know exactly how much I'll take. Do you know which accounts you'll draw from and when? What's your withdrawal order by year from taxable, pre-tax, and Roth? The order drives taxes, credits, and how long your money will last. What you can do here is refer back to number 1 in this section where you made a list of all your assets and start to take notice of where your money is. Do you have the majority of your assets in pre-tax accounts? If so, okay, just know that if you're living on that money, the distributions you take will be taxable and can potentially affect your Social Security and Medicare premiums. If more of your assets are in taxable brokerage accounts, be aware that selling stocks could trigger short and long-term capital gains taxes. And if you have money in a Roth IRA, this is the best case scenario, there's a good chance that money is tax-free if you've had it for over 5 years and you're over 59 and a half. So for this section, a 0 means you have no order on how you're taking your withdrawals yet. Number 1, you have a generic idea with no dollar thresholds. And 2 means you have year-by-year sources with bracket targets written down. Now let's build flexibility for the what ifs. Number 3, what's your plan if the unexpected happens? The market drops, inflation spikes, you have a health scare. What are your guardrails? Rigidity breaks plans, rules reduce panic. So for this one, you'll need to have 3 rules. When to cut withdrawals. For example, we decrease spending by 10% in our portfolio if it's down by 15%. On the flip side, when to increase our withdrawals. For example, we increase spending by 10% if the portfolio is up 15%. And third, when do we rebalance our portfolio and by how much? A 0 for this one means there's no plan here. A 1 means you have a vague idea with no triggers. And a 2 is you have written guardrails with clear triggers. Now, I understand this section we just went through sounds complicated, and that's because it is. I'd imagine most people are saying, how do I even do this or come up with these on my own? And in most cases, you're working with an advisor to help with these because we have the tech and the experience to create and manage appropriate guardrails customized for each client. So don't get frustrated on this one if you're not sure what to do. If you want more help on this for your specific situation, click the link in the description for a call and I'd be happy to help. Moving on to number 4, is your estate plan up to date and coordinated? Are wills, trusts, POAs, healthcare directives, and your beneficiaries, are they all up to date? Really important here because outdated documents lead to family conflict, delays, and taxes. So a few things you can do. Make a list of the last time you updated the following documents: your will, trust, power of attorney, and healthcare directives. Also, verify the beneficiaries on your IRA, 401k, your taxable accounts, also known as a TOD or POD account. Star the one item to update first and make sure you actually do it. A 0 here means you don't know what documents you have or they're outdated. A 1 means some are updated but beneficiaries are unchecked. And a 2 means all are current, beneficiaries are verified, and the next review date is set. And last, is everything coordinated on one operating plan? Do taxes, income, investments, insurance, and estate flow together with who does what and when? Because when you make decisions for each of these in their own silo, money starts to leak and mistakes are made. Coordination keeps everything together and compounds. So draft a one-page plan that has an annual spending target, withdrawal sources, this year's tax moves, the 3-bucket allocation we talked about earlier, any notes for insurance, estate status, key dates, and key roles for you, your spouse, if you have a CFP, CPA, attorney, etc. And this keeps everything organized and together. A 0 for this section means pieces are scattered with no organization. A 1 means some pieces exist, but there's no single page or calendar. And a 2 means there's a one-page plan with owners and dates. Okay, so how'd you do? Add up your 3 sections. That's your total out of 30. A 0 to 10, you're just getting started, and that's a win. Now you've got direction, right? So do this. Clarify your lifestyle, price it, and pick one financial action this week. Book a 30-minute session with your spouse, list out your monthly lifestyle costs, and don't forget to add a 15% buffer. If you're between 11 to 20, you're on your way, but there are still gaps. So do this. Coordinate taxes, investments, and income on one page so they work together and you can start to understand the moving parts. And if you're between 21 to 30, you're close. Now you have to optimize and protect what you built. So do this. Refine your withdrawal order, reduce lifetime taxes, and tighten your estate plan documents. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about clarity. Tiny changes can save you thousands and help you sleep better at night. So download the free retirement readiness scorecard at the link below or in the description, print it out, fill it out, and see your color. The last page on the document gives you tailored next steps and a link to book a free retirement tax and income blueprint if you want help. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.